People don't seem to really be caring too much about the Galaxy S25 Edge, which is confusing because it's a significant shift in smartphone design and is actually the change that we've indirectly been asking for. So here's why people aren't caring about it, but then also why they should be paying attention to it. Welcome back to SamMobile TV. You're here with Daniel. The S25 Edge has cut a polarizing figure since its launch. I think a lot of it has come down to three key areas. The fact it's got a reduction in battery capacity and it's made some sacrifices to the camera, and the price of it. A lot of people are saying you're paying more for less. And yes, you technically are paying the same for less because there is less of the phone. But if you were to pay per weight for a phone, it'd be a pretty ridiculous concept. Let's start expanding that to other industries, paying per weight for cars or paying per feature for sort of cars that cost $1 million but also don't offer a lot. But it's because of the status and the design and the engineering that goes into it that you pay for it. People don't seem to care about this phone. I completely get it. Because when you look at what it offers on the spec sheet, I completely would not care about it either. 3,900 milliamp hours capacity in battery, 2 dual cameras on a phone in 2025 that costs $1,100 to start with US isn't what people are looking for. Or at least when they're shopping, again, on a sheet of paper, they wouldn't consider it. So people read that, they disengage, they automatically think the phone is a flop. And then you go on social media and the same rhetoric is being pushed by people who haven't held or used the phone. They are saying that it's not worth the money, get a phone that's heavier, who cares, it doesn't make much difference. Cool, completely understand. Everyone is entitled to those takes. When I heard the specs of this thing, I completely was on that wavelength as well. This wasn't a phone I thought I would consider because of the fact that, yes, it doesn't have a telephoto. It doesn't have the S Pen of the Ultra. It doesn't offer a gigantic battery like the S25 Plus. These are all things that it's missing, and a lot of people want more, they don't want less. That is a rhetoric and a take that I completely understand. Or I understood, because from the moment I put my SIM card in here and I started using this thing as my phone, everything changed. The entire narrative I had built up in my head around the Galaxy S25 Edge was wrong, because this is a phone that you're not paying to get access to 5x 50 megapixel telephotos or to the S Pen. It's aimed at a certain consumer that doesn't care about any of those things. It's aimed at the consumer that wants a small phone feel, but with a big phone appeal. I like that. Because what this phone offers you is that big screen, that's 6.7 inches, that is massive in size, excellent in quality, flagship performance underneath the hood, 8 Elite for Galaxy, 12GB of RAM, flagship camera in here that is the same as the camera over here on the S25 Ultra, with a secondary camera as a flexibility option, in a form factor that doesn't feel real. You hold this phone, it's barely believable that it weighs this much. So why you should care about it, because I've talked about it in my review, I don't need to go over it again, is because this is sort of like a precursor as to where the industry will go. Samsung's, I guess, first foray into it was this year with the S25 Ultra. The S25 Ultra slimmed down from the S24 Ultra. It is about almost 16 grams lighter than the S24 Ultra and 0.4 millimeters thinner, because it went from 8.6 to 8.2 mil and about 234 grams to 218. That, for a phone that didn't sacrifice anything except for Bluetooth S Pen, which we've spoken about, and it shouldn't have sacrificed it, same battery capacity, better camera system with a bigger 50 megapixel ultra wide, and all of the same internals like bigger vapor chamber, new processor, is quite impressive. That was kind of the start. Actually, no, the start was probably the Fold Special Edition. Fold Special Edition, I would say, was the first time Samsung decided that they wanted to make things a bit thinner and offer things in a bit of a more concise, slim package. The Ultra then carried that on, and then the Edge is kind of like the next step. Yes, they've made sacrifices to battery capacity, at least now, to achieve it. Yes, they've taken away one of the cameras. But everything's got to start somewhere. You should pay attention to this phone because this is kind of going to be a showcase as to what the Ultra can be in the future. And don't think that they'll make sacrifices with the Ultra to achieve it either. They have to start with this to see how people respond to the form factor, because the Edge isn't aimed at people who want these cameras on here. It's not aimed at people that want the S Pen sitting inside it in the silo. It's aimed at people who want a different feel from their phone, a different experience. So if people like this experience, Samsung's idea will be likely to expand this experience and match it with this feature set. So offer the Ultra in a 7.5mm package with a 190 gram weight, but still maintain everything that it's got here. Still give you S Pen, still give you multiple cameras, still give you big battery and big performance. That, I believe, is the direction that Samsung is heading in. They want to be able to showcase it through a phone that people can buy, gauge the response. So far, everyone who's got this phone that's been commenting on my videos has said how much they're enjoying the feel of it, and they can't quite believe it when they're using it. People who don't use it aren't saying that because they don't have one. It's truly a phone you need to use to experience. But if you want to see where the future is, what the industry will look like in a few years, the Edge is the starting point. This is thin phones that, yes, maybe no one asked for, but when done right, you will wish you did, because the appreciation for holding something and using this in everyday life is such a transformative experience. You pick up your phone more, you can hold your phone for longer because it's not heavy. This thinness feels nice in the hand. It's not intruding and taking up all your hand space. The camera experience on this is still good. The display experience is flagship. The performance has not suffered. In fact, my battery life on this has been excellent. Samsung said all day, and they weren't kidding. If I go into my battery thing here, I took it off the charger 5.5 hours ago, and it's got 2.5 hours roughly of screen on time and total 5.5 hours of usage with an estimated 15 hours to go. That's all day. That's enough for pretty much anyone who's using their phone like a normal person. So, the Edge. People don't care about it because of what they read on a piece of paper, but they should care about it because of how you use it when it's in your hands. I'm not saying that this is perfect. I'm not saying everyone should buy one. What I'm saying is you should be wanting this to succeed, because if Samsung could take this formula and mix it with the hardware that's on the Ultra, you've got a winning formula for smartphones moving forward. Not to mention what it's going to do for the foldable market and even the tablet market. If Samsung can cram impressive internals into a phone of this size, imagine what they can do with a tablet or even other devices as well. This was a bit of a different video. And again, I read the comments. I know a lot of you say that we're just shilling Samsung and we're basically like a sponsored video. That's couldn't be further from the truth, for one. But also, why can't we enjoy things? I enjoy this so much so that I bought one. Like, this is my own that I've saved money for and purchased. So you don't have to always just get a phone for free to appreciate it. You can buy things and enjoy it as well. And it doesn't make you biased. It just makes you, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't make me biased. It just makes me appreciate things. And I like being positive about stuff. If this was bad and this wasn't a good experience, if this phone didn't work, then you best believe that we will be talking about it. One UI 7 as a whole didn't work, especially the rollout. We talked about it. The S Pen decision wasn't great. We talked about it. But this is not a phone you should be rooting against. This is a phone that you should want to see win. And even if you don't want one yourself, you should appreciate the fact that it exists. One UI 8 is now upon us. So if you want to see all of that, go watch our videos and hit subscribe and join as a member as well. Check out our website for the latest Samsung news, reviews, and tips and software. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.